if we break things into 5 things that hold people in poverty, okay? And you have no outline for my talk today, so don't go looking for that. But I'm going to tell you 5 things that hold people in poverty. Cultural systems. Okay, there's an inadequacy of worldview. There are power structures that would like to keep things just the way they are. Okay, so it may be a cultural system that does devalue women, that keeps them as second-class citizens. Okay, and that will keep them in poverty. It will keep the whole community in poverty. That's not just, it's not only the woman who suffers in that, and that's what I think people in some of these systems don't get. When you repress any group of people in your society, whether it's based on gender, or whether it's based on ethnicity, or whether it's based on caste, when you oppress any group in your society and say they are not as valuable as others, then the whole society suffers. But there are many, many systems, cultural systems, that would deny access, and political systems that don't allow people to have access in terms of what they're capable of speaking into. In Bangladesh is a predominantly Muslim culture, and therefore the value of educating women is very, very low. All right? I was in Bangladesh, I guess it's been maybe a year and a half ago now. But this gal's still one of my favorite people in the world that I've ever met. And I'm going back in a couple weeks. Meredith and I are headed back to Bangladesh. But I met her perchance. Okay, I was at our medical clinic in Bangladesh, and we were taking a tour and understanding the project work there and what they were doing with mother-child health, that kind of thing. And these 3 young women came into the clinic. And I saw them come through the clinic and go upstairs, and then we went upstairs on our tour, and they were in meeting with somebody at a desk, and I stepped in the room and said, hello, and, you know, who are you, what are you doing? And first off, I was amazed they answered me. Okay? They crossed all kinds of barriers in speaking to a male, speaking to a white male, and being very, very open to a conversation. This gal in the middle was just bright with excitement. She was in her senior year of high school. She was getting close to graduation. She's been studying accounting and banking. She wants to work in a bank, and so I said, well, that's great. What are you here for? She said, well, we're sponsored in school by World Concern. World Concern pays our school fees. And I said, well, that's great. How long has World Concern been paying your school fees? 12 years. 12 years. I said, where would you be if World Concern hadn't been there to pay your school fees? She goes, oh, my dad would have married me off, you know, some years ago. I don't. To me, she looks young. Now, to some of you, maybe she doesn't look that young. To me, she looks very young. But her dad he would have married me off. But because I was going to school, he hasn't done that. And so to me, it's what, when we talk about a cultural system that would hold people down, in this case, women in particular, we need to find a way to start to break down that system. In the Maasai culture, same issue with, well, educating everyone's a little tough, but particularly women. We have a field worker, Jane Nampaso, who got her high school degree. She's one of the few field workers we have actually without a university degree, but she was so dynamic, and her story of how she was able to overcome the family pressure to get married at 14 and finish her high school degree was just incredible to me. And so she works with us. Now she has a job, she has a career, and she's known throughout that entire district. The entire district know who Jane is and what she's accomplished. And girls take heart in what they see in her. A role model to go forward in front of them. And so this is what happens. We find a few people that we can start to make a difference with in this kind of a thing when it comes to cultural systems, and start to chip away at that which has been in place to hold them down. Now there's the second thing that would hold people in poverty would be a personal system, right? There's a marred identity. There's a psychology, right? There's a sense that I can't do any more than I'm doing. I can't be any more than I am. There's a low self-esteem, right? And so this is a second area where we can, when we walk with people and we start to bring about change, because in relationship is how you actually bring change into people's life. In relationship, we start to add value to people's lives. They start to value their own life. In a lot of places around the world, the poor are told they have no value. Their life is not worth anything. And we want to counter that by coming in and sharing the Word of God with them and showing them that the God of creation believes that every life has equal value. Every life has equal value. There's no differentiation in the value of any life that God created. And people need to understand that and own that. And this may be the first time in some people's life they felt a sense of value in their life. The third thing that would hold people down would be religious systems, spiritual issues, demons, and powers and principalities, and shamans or witch doctors or whatever they go by in the local language that would steal what resources they might pull together, that would steal their peace, that would tell them that they are in a caste system, that they are exactly where they belong. And if they're impoverished, it's because they've done something horrible in a previous life and it's just their penance to pay, so live with it. Religious systems hold people down. It's not hard as I travel the world and I see what's promoted in the name of religion, why so many people are so hostile towards religion in general. Because so much that goes under the name of religion is not truth. It's a lie. It's a lie that hurts people and damages people and holds them down and would ensnare them and imprison them, not set them free. And Christ came to set people free. He came to find reconciliation with everyone. He wants reconciliation. He wants a relationship with people. He's not here. He didn't come to imprison people. And we need to free them from these religious systems that would hold them down. There are social systems. So we talk about no justice system. Maybe you can't own property. Maybe there are wealthy people that would have you stay where you are because they like having power over you. And this is something actually that I fairly recently have been looking at in terms of defining it as the God complex of the non-poor. Okay, which I've seen but didn't have a phrase for, right? This God complex of the non-poor. This idea that when we want to help, we come in with the attitude that we are here to save you. I now have all the answers that you need. You should be so thankful that I have entered your life, right? Instead of coming along to walk with somebody, instead of recognizing that this person has lived up to this point without me, okay? Which I obviously didn't think was possible with the attitude I might walk into the room with, but they have done it. And they have led a life, and they are functioning. So what do I need to understand who they are and walk along with them before I start to say, I have all the answers, right? I come with a social system, and my social system works where I live, but that doesn't mean it should be imposed upon someone else. And certainly, the fact that I have more wealth than they do doesn't mean I know better than they do about everything else, right? We are actually all experts at something. But for most of the life and most of the knowledge in the world, we are fairly ignorant. When it comes time to slaughter and cut up a goat, okay, I'm going to have a lot of trouble. I have participated once in the process, but I would not want to start it from scratch, okay? So, but other people have skills I do not have. Other people know how to do things I do not know how to do. If I come in with an attitude that because I am in a position of wealth, relative wealth, I know better about everything, then I add to the social system that would oppress the poor.